Morena tātou, everyone. Welcome here to this very formal setting of our hearings for the Kāwhia Aotea concept plan. Could I please ask Cassidy if we begin with an opening karakia, please? Thanks, Cassidy. Moving on to apologies. I believe we have two apologies this morning. One is Councillor Hughes, and sorry, who was the other one, Kathy? And Councillor Christensen. I'd like those apologies be moved, please. Seconded, Councillor Tamaki. All in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. Is there any submissions where either councils or community boards need to declare a conflict of interest? Thank you. Okay, moving on. We're moving on to item 1, which is the draft Kāwhia Aotea Ōpārau concept plan. Just a few, while everybody's here in the room, this does look incredibly formal, but please relax. I mean, it's even making me nervous. So the setup's a bit more than we expected, which is really cool. It does bring the importance to this these hearings today. And certainly the hearings are to listen to what yourselves as submitters are putting forth. It's nothing is predetermined on this at all. So we're here sitting with absolutely open minds to hear what you're speaking to. So first off, thank you to you here and thank you for your submissions. There's 10 minutes to speak to your submissions, and in that time, that involves questions as well. So if you're speaking for 5 minutes, it leaves 5 minutes available for questions. And I please ask that councillors and community board members, please stick to the topic of the submission. Don't go off on tangents and ask other questions that aren't relevant to the submissions. Otherwise, I'll be getting an elbow on my side and telling everyone to keep on track. Okay. No new information from the submitters, please. Just talk to your submission. If there's any questions we need clarification on, we'll be asking those as well. And I believe we'll be ringing a bell after 5 minutes, just so you have an idea of where we are in the times that we're speaking. Hopefully that's all clear. And please, again, I said it looks very, very formal, but please feel comfortable and relaxed while speaking to us. Really appreciate it. Hey, so first off, I'll be asking if Brett Maley can come up and speak to his submission. Everybody, that's on page 27 of your agenda. Welcome, Brett. Floor's all yours, mate. However, since my submission, I learned that there was actually no specific
thing about people using conditions, money needs to be spent, pushing the floor, and power needs to be on. After discussions with some people in the local community, we would like to hold these back up and also give even chances after that appeals, the council would need to look at all power supply and pay them ongoing bills. The biggest cost for the power is a monthly fee of the charge, which I understand was about $75 per month. And when all is being used, no power is consumed as all electricity that needs to be turned off. To install these light changes at the hall supply mailbox will need to be upgraded. And on the road, have to be for the public. So using in summary, I envision what we do to install the hall as long as the council upgrades the supply box and comes to the big public. We don't want you to provide and the community council is the rules that we got from open to know what on page 37 of the concept that mentions an upgrade, but it doesn't just specify when and what exactly the council is proposing. So soon before an upgrade and the community and live on the find rules
So thanks very much, Brett. Councillors, committee board members, do you have any questions of Brett? All's very quiet. Everyone must be just warming up, I think, Brett. No, thank you. No, I'm sorry, no questions from the floor, unfortunately. Oh, sorry, councillor.
Can you hear me all right? Yep. Brett, has there been any work done at all on the hall since the damage was caused?
There's been no problem, there's been no.
Right. I know that when Jeff Good, who's our chairman of our community board, and I visited there some time back, we noticed that the mud had got right underneath the hall and it was popping the floor up. Is that right? So have you got any idea or estimate of cost or anything like that to get that fixed?
No.
No. Okay. No, thank you.
Thank you, Brett. Cheers. On to our second submitter, which is Barry Buckley. Thank you, Barry. Sorry, I mentioned before, I keep saying councillors and community board members, but I didn't, well, I forgot to mention our wonderful mana whenua reps at the end.
Morning.
Page 31, councillors. So I'm just making sure they're all on the same page, Barry. We're all good to go.
Very happy with the local well. I've been here for 35 years. My profession is I'm speaking on behalf of a local farmer, who wants to speak on behalf about keeping our wall, rebuilding it. I've been here for 35 years. My daughter went to school in Ōpārau, my grandchildren, my parents, my grandparents lived in Ōpārau. My great granddaughter was out there the other day, so there's 6 generations. But that's not all. There's many names up in the hills there of generations go further back. So it's got a long, rich history. There's Ōpārau and all is part of it. Now, my request is that we rebuild it. There's no doubt about that. I'm not going to go on about too long about the necessity of the coal. We all know that. The crux of this of our days of yore of our social settlements and God knows what, and what absolutely was needed in those days. It ended in the 60s and 70s when the advent of wheels and cell phones, so they just slowly disappeared. Fly around the country now and see relics of some of these old walls, but not all of them, right? Most of them are still alive around the country. And they're still going. What's taken over from the old walls is maraes. We all know that maraes the doors are open at any time, and they've taken over the facilities and some of the things that the old walls used to do, but not all of them. Unfortunately, we haven't got a marae in Ōpārau. We had floods. And that is one of the reasons why Ōpārau Hall is in the situation it is now. Floods, of course, happen all over the country. You never know where they're going to happen, you never know how bad they're going to be. I can remember the 1956 flood around here. Went to stayed in the hotel a few weeks after it opened, and the water level in the hotel room was this high. So that was a decent flood. But so was this one here too, that we last had. Not helped by the fact that stupid bridges being built next to it, which is no doubt about it. The confluence of two rivers is just 100 metres up, and that obstructed the water, and it must have caused some damage and swept around back to the hall. Anyhow, the hall got taken up to the window levels, and I would like to see it rebuilt. We have got the national, public, the provincial growth fund, which I understand about 3 billion went into it, and that has been taken off the great advantage. We've got the part of that, which of course in its parameters there has got growth of money available for marae, for purchase, for town hall, and for any other local necessity. Town halls are starting to right down the roads. You've got the country halls, you've got the town halls, you've got city halls, right down there. Anyhow, Maori have taken great advantage of that, and fair enough too. Figures I've got is that over the years they've had something like $90 million and rebuilt 350 marae. That's a lot of money. Surely we can have part of that used to rebuild it. What I like the council to do is get the engineers out there, have it built into place. What can be done? Can we get about what's the other resource? So, you get it. What's that mean? 1 minute.
There's 5 minutes, Barry, you're fine. Yep, you're good, mate.
And see what we can do. Perhaps use that. Perhaps it might be able to fit it into your budget. But let's do something about it. Ōpārau's not going to go away. It's going to stay here forever. And to lose that rich history of it, we lose a lot. in Ōpārau. It's going to be rebuilt. Kāwhia is not the place for us. There are over areas. You know, it's going to be Kāwhia. It's a foreign country. It's only good for the local. When I go old, and I add it, I want to use the Ōpārau as the place where I say farewell to everyone. And so does anyone else that's around Ōpārau. The fallen may be as old as God's God, but it's got tons of life left in it yet. So, the basis of it is we lose our rich history, we lose everything in Ōpārau. So see what you can do. I don't hope, I expect that you'll consider it. Thank you.
Thanks, Barry. Any questions from the floor? No, thank you. Sorry, it's Kathy. Barry, one question.
Would be pretty easy to it's another job. It's pretty easy to get a little bit shifted up, maybe another couple of years higher. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, number 60 there.
So the cost, additional costs, that can relocating, make sure that the boards do the same.
Yeah, once stuff on its legs, it's can't be moved anywhere. Look at the big hotel in Wellington. Here's always life. Just get up and shift it 200 metres down the road. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Jacqueline. Everyone, we're on page 12. The floor is yours.
The environment, visual appeal of the town, what it should be given time to all the constituents. Housing belongs to the what people say in the comment is an extremely uninteresting and happiness town. The old bank, the real estate board, and the front directors now make the right hand side of the road, which is very clear. The strictest activities along that side to run in fact. The only activity they should be at, and that's what I do. While the pub is activity, the fence around the pub makes it unattached and somewhat forbidden. And it has no demand of them. The rail safety traffic money platforms are ridiculous. And they're unskilled, I don't think they really do anything. They just distract and visual imagery. More food and Main Street with help, but still please living more happening on that ministry. A signage plan should be drawn up to prevent a collaboration and to ensure continuing compliance for one of our. This is strange, this is the attempt to other meetings, such as putting time equipment, that is easily accessed and distracting ultimately teaching. Well, some of the business was with long area, and that's why we don't have some tests. We propose particularly the weapon to be used. And once we need to mention all the One key element of our plan, a street food counting flavor of the whole country. And cooking and satisfying content, and management, including the placement of the people. The whole campaign should be developed using an integrated and content approach. Yeah. Partner with ensure spring and suitable development in the town and to the harbour, clothing and food safety. So what I'm asking for is that the concept has been supplemented by an overall urban design plan for the whole town, showing new streets in framework, proposing a parking plan, and making that done in a way that preserves the low-key character of the town. So just for in conclusion, the environment and visual community township are considered all things. It should also be noted that residents excluded status not, for example, in Kāwhia Park. People come here because of its charm, not because of its park. I'm clearly convinced the requirements we have stated residents is required for Kāwhia, and all decisions, no matter how small, should be made in reference to. Yeah.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Questions from anybody? No, all very quiet. Again, thank you very much for your submission. Is Ken Griffney in the room? Welcome, Ken. And that is page 64 for everybody. Welcome, Ken. The floor's all yours.
I guess I'm here to ask that it stay the same. We love the character, we have to feel the village as it is, the streetscape in particular. And we don't want to see it change. So we don't want to put cars or do urbanisation. And also the facilities that will allow you to places. So barbecue area, and retired civil engineer, a lot of design, the biggest concern is that the footpath sales here, where the motorists will get full the main of the road, that affect pedestrians and that will the road by horses, kids on bikes and all sorts of things. So to force a slip, change the colour. Wide grass areas, wide open spaces have a certain feel to it. So start coming out into the trees. Ongoing maintenance, all this work at the moment, we need to do it. No further cost. And I guess also that we cover the process that we give one opportunity to object to going to be into facilities that require interest, lots of money in the future. And also, the election year of the facilities that are able to be doing and the for it. And other people will get it for free. I will repay a part of it the other day. The visitors, which is free. Further, I would use it too. But I really don't want the facilities that will attract people that I don't want to be with. A nice quiet place at the end of the road. We don't ask them to attract more people. There are other things like the idea of this kind of budget. Really, the opportunity for a decent program, parking, all the rest of it. There's a waste of time. So you will attract more people for straining on the infrastructure and things. The other thing is traffic calming devices, speed bump, something like that. We witnessed a guy doing wheel steering up and down Morrison Road, going over that speed bump that's there as if it wasn't. I think he was using it to paint. He was right under it. So all it does is attract hundreds and a new regular one. And as a civil engineer, I think the speed bumps down here are closer. You don't put speed bumps in the intersection. Storage that confuses everyone, it spoils the flow. You put them further down the road, away from the intersection. People think they're getting kids and things, think they're pedestrian crossing, walk out on them. These things don't do it right. It's the same colour as the paper. They're not pedestrian. So, really, I would like to take the village and say, not to spend money for the benefit of those that don't.
Thank you, Ken. You say there's no opportunity to say you want anything. That's, I suppose, the additional comments part at the end was a great part, and then also be able to present your submission. So you made the most of the opportunity, which is good. Any questions of Ken? Anybody?
Just one, Ken. Just a part, the speed limit, that's the one you do support. What speed limit?
Probably more than happy for a 30k speed limit.
Yeah.
And clear signage. 30 seconds. And important, which is the key to that. I like to take the limit. Police officer, going up the other road, I'll be happy to do it. Speed bumps don't quite a lot of them. Speed limit reduction.
Awesome. Any further questions? Yes, Councillor.
Oh, good morning, Ken. Thanks for your submission. Ken, you mentioned that you're opposed to funding any infrastructure that visitors would benefit from. I guess it would be fair to say that it would be very difficult to stop visitors from coming to Aotea, but did you have any thoughts on how we might be able to clip the ticket as far as from a, visitors are concerned? Put a toll on the road, yeah. Yeah, we- Well, you do have a pretty active ratepayers association or society in Aotea. Do you belong to that? Yeah, good. So is that, do you see that as potentially, in order to progress your concerns, do you think that that would be an avenue for you to do it through the Ratepayers Association?
It would be up to the association. I don't think it wants to have a stand on it.
Awesome. Thanks, Ken. Appreciate your time. In the absence of Peter at this stage, can we move on to Rosalind K. Goodlett? And that is page 45.
Thank you.
So my father was a builder here for read. I've been doing it with the rate and an Aotea relations feedback. My father here was over 25 years in January, so sharing with the original house, largely what he actually did. He did work with the builder together. He and Mr. Morrison set up Aotea Fishery. The old home suite was between Ōpārau and Kāwhia points, through the gate at the end of Northern Drive East. I spent much of my childhood here, hence my strong connection to the house was since been annexed and replaced by roof. This historic site overlooks the only decent place for all terms of free boats because of the big change in time. There was one title referring which was feed from the many constantly flowing spring streets and storm water in search of. It was an old horseshoe sheep pit and yards which the road went. Currently, the road pass today, the Improving Rock, is listed as a private road belonging to Aotea estates, but with a easement. There's been a huge amount of soil pumped in the natural water adjacent to this Bexley's road, which contains iron-rich mud, which was used to produce that fire. It's also a company site, I don't know, especially for the future. There's still stories about Tikea Bird. It was once private wetland, and it could still be. This is below historically recognized marsh, Ōtorohanga, which is managed by conservation. Unsure about their ownership of that, but it's managed by some. Wouldn't take much of a damage, but it had unnatural land use due to inadequate polls, which could take out the road, but which and so settling on currently at 3 feet of road. A similar happening in the is on 11th November 22. So I think 10 months. Anyway, releases 7 into the ocean. These serious issues continue to orientation and pollution of precious harbour and projected coastal orientation need to be addressed urgently. Infrastructure for this community will provide social well-being and economic safe and secure public beach access with suitable rent available to all people at all times would be a huge benefit. Ground footage of here. I have this one I not have about 10 photos. Oh. Yeah. So had a lot to speak on that. But you know, this trading post, this 1928 house, this corporation, well, anyway, so I don't know if you can see on the screen here that there's an entrance to that. I guess because if anything is to do with the fact that this is more than car, yeah, it's right. There's another part of that road, but so the water will always be close to home. And that's the waterway. It's like a spring which where I walk up to believe or read to believe on the ship. And you won't go there. There's quite a lot of people from the south, but apparently not. Anyway, there's a whole pond of it, evidence, and there's no culverts. It's just stuff on top of the sky. And there in the photo, you can see sediment that's washed out through it and falls away, making the sediment and probably including the secret that is a sediment pond there, right on the edge of the ocean. It's about 50 away from the video. So anyway, you look here around of the road. After a storm in January. So then you can see the way the hills are, the way the water rush goes, obviously. And that was an original photo of how it used to be, as you can see, there's actually Ōpārau, it's on awareness, so it's really important to me. Well, I've been told I cannot get it from here for reasons that you may or may not feel well. And, well, I think yeah. Anyway, so here you go again. You can see the party beneath there, which is on traditionally the make that for making people feel uncomfortable. So for me, that's really super. There, some people believe that it should be there. There are some culverts that everything.
Thanks, Roslyn. We've got about a minute left, so if there's any questions of any councillors or mana whenua or community board?
Morning, Ros. Thanks for your submission. Hey, just a point of clarification. You mentioned that the runoff was going down through, did you say it was a stormwater ponding area or a wastewater ponding area?
On my understanding is that it's somehow to deal with the treatment of the county. And I don't know exactly what's in there, but it's part of the text. It's not about it was one of the products, it's about whether or not what's already clear.
Okay.
Morning, Ross. How are you? Well done. Just to clarify to everyone here, there is boat ramp access to that little area. It's just that it's 4-wheel drive access only. You need a tractor or 4-wheel drive. And I've got an engineer sitting down the back there, and I'm pretty sure he'll back me up saying that the engineering challenges of putting a concrete boat ramp down in that area are overwhelming. Ken, would it be fair to say? Yeah. Yeah. So what is it? What are you actually proposing or suggesting, Ros? Oh no, there's a public easement down there, so yeah. No, it's a private property, but there's an easement over it, so the public will always have access. Yeah.
I mean, my understanding is that people use customary rights and public routes to get the road go through millions of different companies, but they're typically not allowed to get to the beach on the end of that road.
I'm not too sure about that. There's definitely public access to the beach through that public easement.
We understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand the road and the,
Yeah.
different areas is huge.
Thanks, Ros. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But the fact is that the territory there needs to be split.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ross.
Right, thanks everybody who submitted. We were expecting one more person to turn up who hasn't arrived. So at the moment, we'll adjourn the meeting until I move that we adjourn the meeting. Secondly, Councillor Jeffries, thank you. And we'll just discuss what our next stages are. So thank you.
plan to be adopted. I will preface this process with comments around funding. So you've heard, and you will have seen in some of the submissions, the question of funding. Funding is an interesting consideration because this is one of three concept plans. Council has, through the draft long-term plan, signalled to the community a sum of money to support the implementation of the concept plan. So there will need to be a separate process of prioritisation process that we, council, will need and board will need to go through to determine what projects can lay claim to the funding once it's confirmed. So this is similar to the process we went through with the Ōtorohanga concept plan. So similar process. What you, in regards to funding, what you could do today is decide that the relative priorities that are shown in the draft concept plan do not reflect A, the wishes of the community through the submissions that have been received, and B, your own preferences around the relative timing. So we did make a particular effort through the engagement process to get people's feedback on which projects they preferred or wanted to be prioritised over other projects. And that information is in the attached to the report as part of the engagement summary that Becca. So that's another piece of the bundle of information you have in the process. Today, your worship, is not about confirming funding for the project. It's about what are the changes that you would like to see made to the draft concept plan to bring it go forward. Submissions, you may choose in that process to alter the priority that has been signalled in the draft. That's the plan framework at the back of the document. So if there aren't any questions around what I think your worship, the next step is to work systematically through the submissions that have been received. There is a schedule attached to the visa. I will use that as the basis to work through. So it won't be it'll be in the order that it's been scheduled, not necessarily in the order where you've heard from submitted today. But the test will be, when we finish this process, is to go back and make sure all of the submissions have been considered, including people who have spoken this morning.
Thank you, Ross. Carry on. Unless there's any questions before Ross continues, councillors? Mana whenua, Community Board?
Oh.
Thank you, Worship. So where there is no, again, looking at the schedule of feedback and submissions attached to the agenda, where there are no specific points from the submission, the submitter has simply reflected his or her or their relative priority in terms of the project. So given preference, one over the other. So each of the submissions are there, and you've got the submitter's preference, and the summary of that is in the Becca document in the back, which looks like that. So it's all there. So those parts people are happy to move. So in terms of the first submitter, the anonymous submission, their submission related solely to relative preference. So I wasn't anticipating any changes to the document at this stage that would then be picked up as part of the prioritisation process unless members around the room have a view that the timing that's signalled in the draft plan, regarding the action plan and implementation of that, the draft onto the plan, if there are any changes to the take silence as
Absolutely. Councillor Jeffries may have a question, I believe.
Thanks. Ross, in the concept plan, the working draft March 24, page 40, it highlights the boardwalk along parts of Pauiwi and Kāwhia track. The boardwalk that indicates, that's being indicated in the map here, is actually on the along the Pahutakawas as you come into town, and I wondered whether that was correct. I thought there was a little bit of opposition to that from initially from the board itself, but I mean, I'm pleased to see that it's there, but I'm just wondering whether it's supposed to be there. Are you able to clarify that? Because I'd certainly support it, but I'm just wondering whether it's supposed to be there.
So, thank you, Councillor. So, if there are any aspects of the draft plan that contain errors and may well be an example of one that you can pick those up through this process as well. So the expectation from, in this case, the board, the new councillor, was that that project, while it was supported, the description and the location don't seem to match, then I'll be looking for direction from the part of this process. But if we can focus on what the submitters are saying first, and then
Thank you, Ross. Yeah.
Before we conclude those processes.
Very
Yeah,
good.
well, thanks, Ross. But the reason I brought it up is it's actually in the submission, the first submission.
Yes.
Boardwalk along parts of Pauiwi and Kāwhia track. So the point there being is if people are making the submission on something that's not correct, then anyway, I'll leave it at that.
So I think it's sorry, Councillor, because it's part of the first submission, if there is an issue, then let's take it into there may be other things that people haven't submitted on that folks around the room have identified once last time out that maybe they're not quite right, or the type, whatever the editorial issue may be.
Yeah. No, don't misunderstand me. I'm happy for it to stay there. It's just that I just wanted to make sure that you know, that you're comfortable with the fact that it is there. That's all.
I'm happy that what's in there is in there, but if there's an obvious disconnect between what the description of the project says and the location of the project, in other words, the project's needed, but it refers to another location than the one the plan has indicated, because we've missed something and brought it together, then this is the time to bring those things to the board. So as far as submission one is concerned, if we are not, we need to change that, or desire to change the draft plan.
Take the silence as not. Yeah.
All right. Second submission is from Margits, and we hear from morning, she did raise a number of points, some of which are referenced in the submission. But she did make a point around capturing a number of things in an overall urban design.
Yeah.
And I think if I heard it correctly, she was saying that it was sort of supplementing the concept plan. So I think it would be a directive in a way that it's not appropriate for you, but it would seem to me that if that is a good idea and you support that, that we reference that somewhere in this document.
That was going to be my question. Sorry, through your worship. Yeah, and I'd noted that that she was asking for an urban design plan to supplement the consent plan. Just wondering if we've got a mechanism to be able to do that, because a lot of what she was referring to are not exactly points that were available for her to agree with or not, but they would come in under an urban design plan or whatever sort of document would support that.
So I think that's an example where there are projects that are a bit more sort of omnibus. It may be appropriate that we signal, if you agree, the need for and benefit of an urban design plan. If that is an action that is specified in the concept plan, and the elements that may make up that could be referenced in a way that other projects, provide a bit of an initial scope and description, because that will again be something that could work would be required to determine the scope of that there was an action included in the plan to look at.
Yes, Tony.
Yeah, through you, Your Worship. So we've got developer reserves management strategy in here, right, that considers about 8 different things. Some of them Jacqueline referred to. So is there a crossover there? I mean, I hear you talking about, yes, scope. I don't want us to be just producing endless amounts of strategies and plans. So is there an opportunity here to look at what we've already got in here as a recommendation, or are they completely different and I just don't understand that?
So my take on the reserve strategy is looking specifically at places that are
Green space, right.
Jacqueline was saying, talk about, yes, about public domain, but this was like main street.
Streetscape, yeah,
So
okay.
to me, if this went in as a project, it suggests to me that it's separate, but we wouldn't run the two as
Yeah.
separate.
Yeah, okay.
We would
Connect them,
coordinate
yeah.
in some way.
Thank you. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, because Jacqueline's thinks she's got power lines underground. Is that something that we can control, or we have to have a bylaw that in the community, the power company decides we put power lines to it or not?
So, yeah, Ross, I don't know the answer to that, but I'm assuming that is a Waipā Networks issue, not ours, but whether that's something that we could be canvassing for or lobbying for.
Like a lot of new subdivisions, they seem to always put the power underground. So I guess we could have if you're going to do something new, you have to go underground rather than above. But I wouldn't have thought you could tell them to go and put the power lines.
I'm also not sure how that works with the hazard
Large
mapping.
trees.
If this town's going to end up kind of being inundated at some stage, and we've got massive infrastructure underground, how that stacks up against sort of resilience. There might be, considerations there too.
Yeah, Tony. I think the big one will be back to Tanya's point about resilience and climate change and sea level rises, where you'd want to be throwing a whole lot of infrastructure underground.
One of Jacqueline's arguments is it is the vulnerable up above the don't know, so. Yeah, no.
And well, just a comment that actually they are vulnerable underground with large trees as well, so.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, a trade-off. Mm.
So your worship, what am I hearing from, the room is suggestion that there is no more urban plan?
I think you're running, back to Tanya's point, I think, Ross, we don't want to be running a separate plan, but it'll be running in, there'll be consideration of what will be done as urban development or urban plan. I'd suggest. Any other thoughts?
Which, and maybe today is not the day we will find words like what goes into the document, how we can capture the sentiment and the intent. And reflect that in some way, having regard.
Yes, that would be my take.
Your worship, could I just clarify? So unless we ask for something that's in these submissions to be removed, or we don't agree with it, what's in here, is that going to form part of the recommendation going through to the council? Is that it? So all of these items in the submissions will form part of.
Sorry, Kit, I misunderstood. Through you, your worship. So I guess this is an opportunity for you to take into account anything that might have been raised in submissions that you might want to add into the existing draft plan or take out of the existing draft plan. And it's the plan that then goes through to council for adoption with those, any amendments. I'm assuming there will be some. Yeah. So is that?
Yeah, so there are things that submitted asking for that either by consensus or majority we don't agree with and we don't support, then we want to be a change to the plan. Equally, if there are things that you believe do need to be changed within the submission, we will capture what those are and that will form the direction to staff to make the changes to the draft concept plan to then go up to council.
Irrespective of that, though, what I'm asking is that if we don't change anything from the submissions that were made today, if we accept them in total, are those then going to form part of the recommendation to the council, including what's in the written submissions? It's not clear to me whether we're actually supporting or, these written submissions that we're looking at here, are we saying yes, unless we don't agree with something, or we're going to take it out? That's it. That's what we're going to.
That's presented to you in the board as what the submitters are asking for. You support that, and that involves a change to the draft plan. Great. If you don't support it, then there is no change to the plan. So these are not my recommendations. These are what the submitters are asking for.
Yeah, sorry, Ross, I'm just not making my point. What I'm saying is that if nothing changes, if we don't do anything at all today,
Yes.
what's in these written submissions will form part of our recommendation to the council.
No, today you are a hearings panel. So you're a hearings panel of the Ōtorohanga District Council. You're not the council. You're a hearings panel on this particular item. That's why we've got different people in here to constitute the hearings panel. And the hearings panel considers what's in these submissions and makes the recommendation through to council. The submissions don't go through to council. They're forming the part of your decision or recommendations today.
So all the submissions here, they reference particular parts of the concept plan, the draft concept plan.
Yep.
And if we feel, if the submissions is in support of what is in the draft concept plan, then it stays as it is. If we decide here in these hearings that what is written in this draft concept plan, that we feel there needs to be a change as a consequence of what our submitters have said, then that will change what that draft concept plan is. And then we take it to council to adopt the concept plan as opposed to the draft. So that the decisions made here will change it from a draft concept plan into a concept plan.
So if there are no changes to recommendation from this group, the council adopts the concept plan as it was released for public submission.
Kathy, you have a question too?
So these are new, so the draft is out with sections that are a combination of the process that we into March. These submissions are either supporting or not, and in some cases are suggesting. Daily is about determining whether there are to be any changes in the assumption, what those are. They will then form the recommendations from this group to council. Alongside that, we will go away based on that, because that will be the direction for us to amend the draft plan. And that will be amended. So your recommendation and the amended plan that goes up to council should align. So I'm going to put it simply, you are giving me direction today to go away and change the draft plan in whatever way you determine. Some areas, so the deadline is almost the same. And so maybe the best, I'll try and summarize, maybe the best way of capturing those or dealing with those is having an urban design plan. Some elements are already in the document. So we will, if this is where you land, that's something you'd like to see reflected in the plan. Then we will find a way to articulate that and then maybe draw some things together so that we've got kind of like things together, which is consistent with the process that we've been in. Because when we started, we were out here, people were just giving us ideas, and what's being reflected in the draft plan that went out is a collation of those ideas where we could do it. So like things came together.
Councillor Johnson?
Just
Shouldn't get that role.
there's a lot that are supportive and some that are unsupportive of looking for us as decision makers. Is there going to be part of the process that we understand which ones are greater motive? See others, or is that up to us to make that? How much weight we put on each of these submissions?
So that is up to you. So what we've done is in the draft, we have given some sense of timing, and you can equate that to priority to projects and actions. So we've used the scale of short, medium and long term. So first 3 years, 3 to 10 years, and then over 10 years, and given some sense of where individual projects or actions might sit as a starter for 10 for the community to provide feedback. And some of the submissions are quite clear around relative urgency or priority on the submitter's mind. So, and then so that's the first bit. Second bit is the analysis that's come back through the submission process. So most of our submitters have just taken the opportunity to share their view about which projects they favour over other projects. So those two bits of information you may use, councillor, to form your view about which projects should be reflected in this document in terms of, or how they should be reflected in terms of relative priority, having regard to what I said about, you know, the overall prioritisation process and
So as an example, you know, we've heard a lot about the upgrade and restore the community hall at Ōpārau. I mean, so if we agree to it, that becomes a thing. It's in here, but you know, there's so much more information to know about that. So, you know, that's how can we commit something with such small amount of information?
Yeah, and so today is, this process is about a framework for action. There's a lot of work that's going to need to be done before some of these projects actually get done.
If you, through you, Worship, if you think about the Ōtorohanga town concept plan and how the idea of a kind of the multi-purpose community hub was put forward, that was all it was in that plan, just 3 words basically. And then the next step was to do a feasibility study and work out what that means, what the scope of it is, engage again with the community, bring all those focus groups together. So some projects, you know, there will be low-hanging fruit that doesn't require such a big process. Other ones, you know, it'll be another plan or a feasibility study or get a condition assessment, or it'll be something like that that'll be reflected in the the implementation plan. I guess today is an opportunity for us to hear that the community actually are saying that's a high priority for them, you know, and so that's really good information for us, because when we put the implementation plan together, we can show some kind of relative order of priority as an outcome of today.
So with that, I'm not too sure how pedantic we need to be, but like, shouldn't we investigate opportunities to upgrade and restore the hall, not just upgrade and restore? I mean, is that the type of feedback you want from us, or?
Well, you could.
But
But when you look at that plan, and just use that as an example, upgrade and restore the community hall is the outcome, I guess. Identify the right outcome and needs assessment. So that's what is it that needs to be done. Secure the funding and then design and deliver. So that's the second to last page.
page 54.
We've got those projects that ultimately need more work. We've got places as the chief executive indicated for so there are some here that are big projects that need to be broken down because we haven't been able to do, and nor should we in my view, have gone away and done any detailed scoping work because we didn't know whether these projects are actually going to make into the final vision plan or not.
So some of the wording in here is just the title of it. It's not the actual direction.
No.
Okay.
So the detail you need to refer to the implementation section of the plan is and there will be some projects that require other projects to be undertaken first. Because there are dependent on some other things that need first before done.
That was in my discussion. Yes, that's you need to be looking at on this particular example in the short as a support partner, we're going to identify need, and then the next bit is a medium term, 3 to 10 years, where the secure funding, design and implementation. So we're not. It's not that we're saying we're going to do that and it's going to start now. It's a process, and we've got a time frame, and the community are supporting us to do that.
project knows that this is not a council form, this is a community-owned asset. And so we'll see who's going to lead it, and who we think it needs to be community-led, and it has to be. But we've acknowledged that council will have a role to play. But what we may consider having read and then really complete some of the draft, we might say, we don't think that doing this over 10 years makes a lot of sense. Maybe trying to do it all over 3 years makes more sense because that reflects the growth. But that's only going to be achievable if that's what we all as the community want to see. But you could change the thinking to reflect all those things and it's pretty good. It signal that you support us and things that advance.
I was just going to add to that, Ross. 'Cause, yeah, I'm getting much of a clearer idea with your explanation. Thank you. As we go through, if it was possible for someone to call out the page we're looking at, would be really helpful, so that we are concentrating on the matter, not the associated page. But like with that Ōpārau hall, the community, the two that I've just spoken to, didn't know who owned the hall.
Right.
So unfortunately, I guess if it's put in there, you're like, well, my first look at it was that community perception is going to be that we're going to do something. So I was a bit concerned about that.
Yes, and the fact that this is essentially a privately owned facility, walk through this document, would you like to see reflected? And as alluding to, your relative priority for this project might be quite high compared to others. And one way of signaling that is by saying, if it's possible, can all of the, scoping, the costing and funding and the delivery be achieved in 3 years? I don't know. But you're not committing, and council is not committing when it adopts this plan and this final version of what it's going to doing. But it's saying to the community, this is an intention, but the commitment of resources that the council resources can't be done in this process. It's got to be done through a separate process with those other two plans.
Through you, Mr. Bishop. I just, yeah, I think it's understanding the process. Like for myself, I came here this morning, but not understanding what our role is. And I think it's good just to explain what our role is and what the process is. So like for myself, I'm just listening and just getting an understanding of what the process is. And yeah, because there's a lot here as well. And also I'm just thinking, what is the easiest way to do the process to get to the goal, what we're wanting to achieve. That's all. Kia ora.
So as I indicated earlier, I thought the best way, having regard to what the purpose of today is, to work systematically through the submissions and get from the room the direction as to whether there is or isn't going to be, or should be a change to the draft, and if there is, what that change might be without being involved in detail.
I'd suggest that as each submission we consider it, it's going to get easier. You may even want to take a note on an earlier one or earlier ones at some point. You've got questions around it, and as you get clarity in your head as what the purpose is, then it's not to say we can't go back and revisit any of their submissions or questions. But not that we ideally want to do that. I'm not on mic, so nobody heard me. Yeah. So just, I think it'll get easier. That's what I'm saying.
I haven't made a note, I think so,
Mm.
I can just give a shout out for the other staff here, that as we work through each submission, we can provide a, reference. But they should be in the order, in the order in the document.
Through you, Mr. Worship. I just want, because these pages aren't numbered either. So it's just, I'm just kind of like trying to work out where we are as well. So there's no, well, I can't. Yeah, so instead, if we go through like the numbers, I'm just thinking of an easier way that we can see where, so we're all on the same page. Looking at them.
I will refer to submission numbers, but I've heard that it's going to be helpful if we also get the page number that submission relates to.
So through you, your worship, then Ross, just wanted the question. So on this very first one, where we talk about exploring alternative access to Ocean Beach and so on, what recognition are we giving to the ones that were opposed to that?
So we've got a draft concept plan that's come through a process where people have had the opportunity to look at the question of beach access. That process has identified a project to look at alternative access. I know there are some submitters who have said, don't worry about the new access, just stick with what we've currently got, but that's problematic, and my understanding is that would be a feature of the conversation here before the direction was provided. Today, you are having regard to what the submitters are asking you, or what they want.
Go ahead with that exploring the alternative access. As I said, we're ignoring the ones that were opposed before.
We're just, no, yeah, it's balancing. So I suppose, at the moment, Richard, we've considered what's in the concept plan, and then people are in support of that. And obviously we're listening to those that are against. There's always going to be those that are opposed. And I suppose I'd imagine there'll be feedback to all the submitters after this. And we say that collectively we have supported investigating other avenues for access to the beach. Acknowledging that they aren't in support of that. That's fine. It's good that, that's what we're here for. But if we find that everybody's around the table says that we don't want to support alternative access ways to get to Ocean Beach, then that is what we'd say, and that'll be taken out of the concept plan.
So just in terms of process, just through you, your worship, just checking in with Ross, that part of the process wouldn't happen until council adopts in June. We get back to the submitters and confirm. Yeah, cool. Just, so we're not expecting them to get letters in the next couple of weeks. It'll be after the recommendation goes to council. Yeah.
Yes, Richard?
The on the access to the beach is from what I've heard from the community, I think most people are in favour of the limiting the access past the marae. And there's a whole bunch of issues around that I'm probably not qualified to speak on. But in every one of those, and to take Kit's point, I don't think we're ignoring people who have said they're opposed to it, because I think that whole issue of change of the limiting that access past the marae is bound by the fact of people still having access to the beach to gather food, to do whatever else. So I'm not sure that I'm reading the submission right and saying that I want to stop people going to the beach. I don't think that's the submission. The submission is saying there are some sensitivities around going past that marae and all the rest of it, and then we need an alternative access. I think they're hand in glove.
And a lot of cases are, I think there's if there's 100 different views about beach access in Kāwhia, I think they're all out there. And some will be, they don't want access at all. Others certainly want to limit the access past the marae. You're absolutely correct. So I think, you know, the fact that it's in there, that we're looking at for being available to explore opportunities for alternative beach access, it should be explored. I mean, those conversations are already going on with TKI anyway. I mean, they're leading those conversations. Anyway.
You know, just thinking about that one. Obviously, my mind anyway, if you if you put a separate access, it's going to cost a fortune. So, do we have a cap on like exploring, or are we? Does that come later on? I suppose the money side of it, because at the end of the day, if you went along to all the people that live in Kāwhia and say, yeah, we're going to build you a nice access, only going to cost 10 mil, you know, no one's going to probably be for it. They'll say, oh, we'll just drive around the other beach, you know. So it's kind of.
So
have we got enough? Yeah. We haven't really got an affordable part in our plan.
No. So there's no budget set aside for any of these activities in the concept plan at this stage. This is just, you know, it would be you'd go about a feasibility study to determine whether it was affordable or not. And as you said, it was $10 million, then you'd probably pull the pin on it. But if you found that you could build partnerships with TKO or other partners, then it would work.
Yeah, I think if we assume that council are going to be responsible for delivering everything, then yeah, it puts us in quite a tight corner. But the key here is partnerships and relationships and all of that, which, you know, in the case of the beach access, we've already started that corridor with other partners. So yeah, it's whether that's a priority for us to continue to investigate it. It might be, as I said before, that it's such a hot community topic with kind of quite polarizing views that we have a separate discrete process for, you know, like some targeted consultation on that one to really get to work out whether we pursue it or not with those partners.
Go again, Ross.
So can I go back to so what I'm hearing is yes, there's support for that, but in a way that coordinate and generate sufficiency with what we're already signaled in the plan. So for example, there's already a project, Jubilee Streets state upgrade. So a number of things that Jacqueline mentioned that could be part of the living design plan. So we could recraft, for example, that action, but simply broaden it out and say there are these things that will be considered as part of that process.
Okay.
Submission number 3. No support for community rights in the solution and or as I think that's when that mirroring position comes to the documentation. I know we are in the document and we will be, but we can continue to be on consideration. And that's in the we're significantly out of the external funding facilitate that infrastructure going in, we will bring back to the community to engage with the community. For personally concerned that we have an opportunity and the thing that the support company we had a co-op became up searching and making a number of people have found that and utilize that. I think that's noted. Number 5, remove the three existing speed bumps, out here on the frequency garage to Ōpārau in the floor. We use careful and reaching that really well. Reaching notes are there, but I'm not sure that I'm actually doing anything. If we take a view that something like speed management in a central area, Kāwhia, fits within the design plan, and maybe the future of those might be considered as part of that process.
Happy with that, Ross? Yep.
Number 6, EV bike charging. So there's a reference both here in Kāwhia and Ōpārau, and we once another today, talk about that. That's in the plan as a possibility. It wouldn't be led by council. There is no expectation that it would actually happen unless it's community led and there was some external funding. And I do note in the plan, it talks about government funding. So if we take, as a suggestion, we take the word government out and just leave it as will require external funding, then it's open to whether it's an energy supply company, from a profit organisation, business funding, whatever. Happy with that?
Thank you, Ross. That's good.
Submission 7 and submission 8 and submission 9 are all relating to relative priority of COVID. Submission 10, from Greg Bailey, from Greg this morning. So I think my comments about the charging is relevant here, and if necessary, if we make it clearer in the document that these things are going to happen. There's no on that point, and then we've got the question of the community hall, which I think we've seen in the discussion. Not council, it does need to be led by the community, because committee that is after the hall, the only flag that I would make is that if the plan is currently saying it's a 10-year process to scope, find funding, and then deliver, that is too long a period, and a better way of signalling this group and the council view on it is to compress those things in 3 years, and the way of signaling is relatively important. That is something that you can do. That's what we would like to do.
Councillor Jeffries, I think you'd probably get more out of using this part of the.
Yeah, thanks. I have been referring to that, but sorry. Ross, I think some of the confusion around that Ōpārau one was that it's actually in our plan saying that we're going to explore opportunities to provide for charging for EVs. I never envisaged it being at Ōpārau. I think that particular paragraph probably should be under 4.1, probably somewhere, rather than 4.4.
So, the point, councillor, my recollection was it was planned for Kāwhia originally in the process, but through a subsequent engagement phase, people were saying, well, what about Ōpārau? So it ended up in the document because we had people who came in and said, I'd like to see it considered Ōpārau as well. It was up to you. Seeing and consider the submission, if that is something that you do not want to see reflected in, then it can.
Yeah, I think they were meaning the Ōpārau store and garage, not the Ōpārau hall. That was the difference.
There was no reference to the hall.
Well, there is in the submission.
Yes, but in the plan, it talks about investigating EV charging in Ōpārau. It wouldn't say where, it just said investigating. But someone has drawn the link, I think, between the hall and EV charging.
It's my understanding, like, from a submission, is it fresh, is it? He's put that he doesn't want EV chargers at Ōpārau Hall in his written submission, but in his verbal, I'm sure he said that he was all for the idea of it, but
It was,
he changed his mind.
it wasn't so much a change of mind as that he had updated information and so
Oh,
that,
okay. Okay.
yeah. And once he understood that it couldn't be done without, yeah.
Yeah, that's the impression I got.
Yes.
But in the hall, just, we want to talk about it quite a lot, but did they not have any insurance or anything like that?
I couldn't afford to pay the bill.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the risk you take, I suppose.
So
No, no worries.
with the, in the draft, so it's got the points here, upgrade and restore community hall, and then project stages, identify desired outcome and need assessment, secure funding, design and implementation, delivery leaders as community-led, and then project partners, stakeholders, ODC as support partner. So I think there would be, from what I've heard here today, Ross, a desire from the residents and the submitters that if we could probably be somewhat more proactive in that partnering to maybe fast track the development. If it is left entirely in the community's hands, it may not happen in what would deem to be a timely enough manner for the people who rely on the hall. So whether it's something that could be indicated that we are more actively involved in that partnership position. That's what I got out of today. Does any alternate views or varying views on that?
Through you, your worship, yes, I think you're quite right, but I think there is such a lot of confusion from them as a community as to A, the ownership, B, the insurance. I asked them that, they said that no, didn't council insure it. And I asked them how they gather their revenue, because they think of it as a council-owned hall. So I said, well, how do you administer it? You know, who pays the bills? And they just had no idea. So there's quite a lot of confusion there. And they certainly didn't know. So like for Ōtorohanga, for example, the revenue is collected through the rates and handed back to the hall societies who administer it. So that's the option, but they just had no idea of any of that sort of thing. So clearly there's quite a lot of paperwork that needs to go in, and for them to not be able to afford to insure it and now be in this position is kind of untenable, isn't it?
So Ross, what would you take out of this?
One way you might consider the role that council can play as a support partner is bringing the time frame to the delivery forward. Instead of doing the needs assessment, scoping the work in 2 to 3 years, and then funding and delivery in the period after that, and bring all of that into 2 years. So that's important for the community that need to do the upgrade, the rebuild of the hall as important for the community. And that's the time frame that we'd like to see it delivered.
Is that the appetite we're getting around the table, or is this just me speaking like a lone wolf? Yeah, okay. Bring it forward again, thank you.
Okay, so moving on, submission 11, anonymous, submission 12 from, Jonathan Lord, Commission. So again, that's, repairing, hall, so I think we've covered that with the conversation. Submissions 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 and 19, combination of anonymous and from Dave Forsyth and Ron Evans, but they are all on the relative priority of focus. So they haven't asked for anything beyond sharing their views. And then we heard this morning from Rodman, submission number right, so I wasn't 100% clear in what Rodman was.
There will always be ongoing discussions there with the landowner. Like council does have easement through the land concerned, but as anybody who's been close to this conversation for a number of years, it hasn't been an easy conversation we've been having with the landowner for that access. So we've got easement through there. That's the main thing, and obviously Ross needs it for his muscles as well. But I think it will be an ongoing discussion to ensure that that track is suitable for all access, and in terms of the boat ramp aspect, I can't remember off the top of my head what's in the plan in that, Ross. Just investigate. Yeah. And that can be still there, absolutely. And that can still absolutely be in there. Yeah.
To address the concern about the runoff coming down through what seems to be either a stormwater or wastewater area. That was a concern raised by Ros, but it's not, obviously not in the plan, but are we able to add that in there as part of, can we investigate that?
I think it probably will be, Kit. I think if there's ongoing discussions with the landowner with that road access down there and getting the suitable culverts and getting the drainage, appropriate drainage in place, accepting, as Ros said, that is, pretty precious land to iwi. I think ensuring that, well, I should stop there. I don't know enough about it in terms of how precious it is, but I know there's some significant land of value there. Yeah, but I think there will be ongoing. The last thing we want is big sediment runoffs into the harbour, so I'm sure there'll be an ongoing investigation. If that's the case, yeah. If that's the case, yeah. True.
So do we have, or can we get a copy of Ros's submission? Because I think this is just to see that we've covered off the issues.
Jeff, would you like to speak to that? Anything? I mean, you're in, from what's in the draft concept plan, would you make any changes for Aotea, what's being proposed?
I would still like what's in the, the concept to go out to discussion. So there's been a little bit of focus on the footpaths, and that's fair. But if it's not to be in there, then it's not to be in there. But I think we need a bit more than 2 or 3 to.
Okay, so at this stage, I mean, once again, it'd be negligent not to investigate or consult with the community in terms of what the desire is for any footpath extensions, and that in saying, no, we're not doing anything. No, no. It's exactly, yeah, exactly the point, Ross. Thank you. Kathy, and then Annette. Thank you, Kathy. Noted.
Thank you, Worship. Just a note regarding the comments on footpaths and how if we put footpaths in, that would force people off the road. And I mean, while it's a really yeah, it's a really lovely concept to be able to wander around the district, like wander around that area, around across the roads at will. We can't condone something that's actually illegal. It's a roadway and we have responsibilities that way. And which is at odds with the other comment in the submitter that saying that if we could put a 20 km/h speed limit and a shed with care signage and enforce it. The 2 things don't really go together, and they would be at considerable cost for the local residents as well. But, yeah, nice concept, but probably not within council's remit.
So that makes me to submission to design to the company. Not continuing and the right to with
I don't think so. From my perspective, it's simply not to explore other options, not saying we're necessarily going to adopt them, but you've got to actually see what opportunity is out there.
there is an accessibility issue. Here from the side, there are people who cannot physically get to the beach without there being so there's got some equal interaction to maintain. What I'm teaching is flagging consideration of investigation of alternative access. You're happy with that statement?
Well, yes, thanks, Ross. Thank you.
Three or four things that are noted down as potential changes. One is the urban design plan, and reflecting that appropriately within the implementation action plan. Changing the relative timing of the upgrading needs on the Ōpārau from the short term. It's noted that we got the quality budget and the process of the commission and circulated the question overlay and the structure of the vision concept and after the harvest subject to the countries that this program is about to
Anything further?
I was just going to ask, in Barry spoke, you mentioned something about funding available through the provincial growth fund. Is that relevant for the hall, for the community hall?
Not currently.
There's no provincial growth fund.
There was during COVID.
Well,
yeah.
There's no provincial growth fund.
Yeah,
anymore.
it's all finished, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, I think that's what.
And I think the reference to that, councillor, was because there was a lot of money through the fund, did go to Marae for the upgrade of Marae, and that is what he's obviously referring back to. But as Tanya said, it's no longer the case.
Yeah, what council does not own that hall. Yeah, all right, just confirm that. Yeah.
The owners of the hall around, we've got these submissions listed the way in this council has.
Through you, worship. What do we do with the most popular project summaries? Like, does it have any relevance to anything? Like, Or have I missed something? Sorry.
Yes, there's a view that yeah, there was one rural concept plan and one that was involved.
So you've done your bit, Ross. Thank you. Any further questions, Ross, before I move to the staff recommendation?
Just in relation to those graphs, I'm just wondering whether it would have been possible to, these graphs just show the number of submissions that have been made on each of those. Yes. But it doesn't indicate how many were in support and how many were against. Do we have that?
There was no in the actual project, survey, our assumption was people would identify the ones they supported, which wouldn't say anything about other projects they didn't support those either at all or as much.
So even though if we go back and use that vehicle access thing again, even though we had submissions against it,
Yes.
they don't show anywhere in these graphs. Is that what you're saying?
Where people didn't support it, they didn't put their vote, their project preference vote into that. And where they did, they did it. So, I guess one way of looking at it is that out of the total number of submissions that were involved, how many supported vehicle access as a priority?
Thank you, Ross. Okay, on to the staff recommendation.
And a note regarding not the police claim, they are the changes that you are wanting to see made to the draft. And that perhaps, if I may, a secondary recommendation might be that the engagement summary and project prioritisation feedback be acknowledged and then used to contribute to the overall project prioritisation process as part of the delivery of the implementation.
Does that get wordsmithed some fancy way? You're absolutely right, because we've got here like the staff recommendation that having considered the feedback and submissions received, the Ōtorohanga District Council Hearings Panel recommend the draft Kāwhia Aotea Ōpārau concept plan to the Ōtorohanga District Council for adoption with the following changes, which is, yeah. Everything.
Yeah, unless you want to do a sweep around the room and just check
Are we, yeah,
the levels of comfort with
Are we-
everyone.
and that's what Tanya just said. Are we comfortable with those changes and with where we're at this stage after deliberations? Awesome, thank you. So I'd like to move that recommendation, seconded Councillor Williams. All in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. We got there, stage one done. Nothing further in this meeting? Those in karakia? Councillor Willison, may I please ask for your services?
Ahuarahi whare, o wātou te kai pai mātou te mātou kāra, o wātou tia mai nātou e mātou mai te rā, e rāna mātou i te kai tamai,
Thank you, councillor. And just final words before I close this meeting. Firstly, thank you to the submitters that did submit on the concept plan. Really appreciate it. It gives us a direction going forward. Thank you to the staff that have done a wonderful job. Thank you, Ross, to get us where we are here today. And thank you for all of us in attendance for participating in the deliberations. So thank you, everybody. I declare the meeting closed.
How's the wish?